welcome back to my channel. I have a new double page layout to share with you today. It's going in my October Daily 2022 album. There we go. And it is also going to be living outside of the page protector. Both pages measure 4 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches tall. I punched the holes in the left page at least after the layout was completely done. The holes in the right hand page were already there because I had made the base page beforehand. So I don't have any video of that, but all the pages in this album are pretty well the same. So if you'd like to see what they look like, definitely check out the playlist. It will be linked in the description box down below, so you can check that all out. I'll also include the link to my October Daily 2021 album, and you can watch the flip through. You can watch the playlist as well for that. So what I'm doing right now is putting together a little pumpkin pie. I'm documenting Thanksgiving this year, and I thought that I would pair it with pumpkins as well. The sort of overlying theme for the story this time around is friends and family. Thanksgiving this year for us was 100% about spending time with our friends and our family. It started off with a birthday party on Friday, which was a day off for my kids. So that was a week ago now. And then Saturday we did Thanksgiving with my parents and my father-in-law. Sunday was really just a day for my husband and I to hang out. We made a mad flying trip up to the city to hit up Costco and stock up on some diabetes supplies for my daughter. And then Monday, because Monday was a holiday, we took it easy that day. It was an amazing weekend, and I thought that the photo that I use to put this layout together perfectly summed up the weekend. It's a picture of one of the girls lying in the leaves down at the park when we were celebrating our friend's birthday party. I thought it was just a great way to summarize the whole weekend. So you'll be seeing that in just a little bit. Right now I am coloring. I used my Cricut to draw and cut the pumpkins as well as the pumpkin pie just a few minutes ago. I didn't draw the pumpkin pie, I just used my Cricut to cut it. So I cut it from some scrap papers that I had in my stash. The inside of that little pumpkin was pattern paper. And as you saw me do, I pulled out a blending brush and just kind of inked the edges of the pumpkin just to give it a little bit more depth and make it feel a little more authentic. And then I also used the same ink pad, which by the way is Toffee ink from Close to My Heart. It'll be linked down in the description box as well. I used the same ink to ink the edges of the pie shape as well. And then I moved on to the pumpkins. So I colored them in with my Spectrum Noir markers. I stuck with the orange blend, I think it is, to color in the pumpkins, all 3 shades. And then I used citrus green to color in the leaves, as well as the dark red Spectrum Noir marker for the last leaf on the 3rd pumpkin. And then I also used the gold marker to color in the stems of the pumpkin. Later on, I will add some clear shimmer brush to the pumpkins and then to the little whip swirl on top of the pumpkin pie, but I'll get to that in just a little bit. I knew that I wanted to add stamping to this layout as well. I wanted to add a couple phrases. Actually, I should say I didn't know I wanted to add stamping. I knew when I designed this layout in Cricut Design Space that I wanted to add phrases in one way, shape, or form. I decided to turn to my stamps this time and add stamped phrases instead of using phrase stickers. I used a stamp set that is from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it was, like, once again, perfect for this layout. The one phrase says, "Remember this, I believe," and then the other phrase has something to do with good times and good friends. I can't remember exactly what it is, but you will see it in the close-ups at the end of this video. I followed the same format I have been all along in this year's December daily to get my journaling added to the layout. All that means is I used my T-square ruler, my craft mat, and a pencil to mark out the lines, and a box for the journaling to fit inside, more or less. Sometimes I kind of go over the lines. It's just a general guideline though. And then once that is done, I use my black pen just to go over the lines where the journaling is, and then I erase everything else off camera. I'm going to attach the pumpkins and my pumpkin pie to the layout. I just used ATG to attach both of those. And then I pull out the clear shimmer brush. Oh, pardon me. I used liquid glue to add the pumpkin to the top of the page rather than my ATG. I think the only reason really that I pulled out the liquid glue is because it was a smaller surface area to add adhesive to. And rather than fighting with my ATG to try and get adhesive on it, I opted for the easier route and added liquid glue instead. That's the only reason why I did that. Really, there's no rhyme or reason to which adhesives I use in my scrapbooking. It's really just whatever I feel like in the moment. I thought that I would turn to my acrylic shapes once again that are in my stash. These are close to my heart, and put them on the left-hand page. Originally, I was going to leave the photo naked, but I decided in the moment that I didn't want it to stay that way, so I chose a couple of acrylic hearts. The one heart that I had there, I felt like it was too big, so I put it back and pulled out one that was a little bit closer in size to the other heart that I have there. And I'm using the dark red Spectrum Noir marker again, just the darkest shade this time, to color in one of the hearts, and then I'm going to use the gold Spectrum Noir marker, the darkest shade again, to color in the other heart. I will use liquid glue to attach both of these hearts to the layout. In this case, I'm using it specifically because it will provide a permanent hold for these two items. They are a little bit more bulky as well, so they have some weight to it, and you need something that is strong enough to stand up to the job. So that's why I chose the liquid glue. The liquid glue, by the way, that I'm using, in case you are curious, is Tombow Mono liquid glue. There's two different kinds. There's the blue cap and there's a green cap. I use the one with the green cap. The only difference between the two is the blue cap is clear glue. The green cap is like your white Elmer's glue. And I think they both work the same way. Here's the shimmer brush that I mentioned a couple of times now, a few minutes ago. I'm just coloring in the centers of the pumpkins. And if you saw me coloring in the whip on the pumpkin pie, I knew that the black pen, Cricut pen that I used to draw the whip, would run if I put the shimmer brush over top of it. So I tried doing it in between the lines. It still kind of ran over, so it has a little bit of smudging in it, but I did the best I could, and that's all I ask of myself. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I hope my layout inspired you, and I hope I see you here again soon. Bye, friends.